Stop explaining yourself to people who don't care. Stop wasting your energy trying to be understood by those who already made up their minds. You don't need to explain your thoughts, your decisions, or your dreams to anyone who is not willing to understand. In life, people will judge you even if they don't know your full story. They will create their own version of who you are. Some will like you, and some will not. And that's okay. You were not born to please everyone. You were not created to fit into everyone's expectations. So stop apologizing for being yourself. If you want to live in peace, you must stop chasing approval. Because every time you try to explain yourself, you give your power away. You try to win a battle that's not even worth fighting. Yes, communication is important, but explaining yourself again and again to people who don't really listen, that is not communication. That is begging. Begging to be understood. Begging to be accepted. And you are not born to beg. You were born to live freely, with self-respect. You were born to walk your path, even if others don't understand it. You don't need to convince anyone. Let your life be your explanation. Let your results speak for you. If someone doesn't get you, that's not your job to fix. It's their own limitation, their narrow view, and you're not responsible for their view. People judge anyway. Here's the truth. People will judge you no matter what you do. If you stay quiet, they say you're weak. If you speak up, they say you talk too much. If you work hard, they say you're showing off. If you rest, they say you're lazy. If you help others, they say you want attention. If you don't help, they say you're selfish. So, do you see? No matter what you do, people will always have something to say. That's why you must stop explaining yourself. Live your life the way that makes you proud, the way that brings you peace. Because at the end of the day, you sleep with your choices, not their opinions. Explaining wastes time and energy. Every time you try to explain yourself, you lose time. You lose focus. You start thinking, how can I make them understand me? But the truth is, if someone doesn't want to understand, they won't. Even if you explain 10 times, 100 times, they will still twist your words. They don't listen to understand. They listen to reply, to argue, or to judge. And when you spend your energy on those people, you feel tired. You feel small. You feel empty. Because you gave them a part of your power. Protect your energy. Your time is precious. Give it to those who truly value you. You don't owe everyone an explanation. Let this be clear. You don't owe anyone an explanation for your life goals, your career path, your relationship status, your healing process, your silence, your happiness. You don't have to explain why you said no. You don't have to explain why you changed. You don't have to explain why you are protecting your peace. People who truly care won't demand explanations. They will understand your silence. They will respect your choices. And they will love you without needing a story. Not everyone deserves access to you. Think about it. Would you give the key to your house to a stranger? No. Then why give people access to your thoughts, your heart, your peace, when they don't value it? Not everyone deserves to hear your story. Not everyone deserves to know your plans. Keep your circle small. Protect your inner world. Give your time to those who have earned your trust. You don't have to explain your limits. You don't have to defend your boundaries. You don't have to say sorry for putting yourself first. Sometimes you need to understand this truth. You are not responsible for how others see you. You are only responsible for being honest with yourself and living your life in a way that matches your values. People will make assumptions. They will judge you without knowing the full story. They will talk behind your back. And that's okay. That's part of life. The real problem is when you try to correct everyone's opinion. You try to explain yourself to everyone, to fix every misunderstanding, and in doing so, you lose your own peace. You cannot control other people's thoughts. You can only control your own actions. Let them misunderstand you. Let them talk. Let them believe what they want. Your job is not to convince them. Your job is to live freely. We spend so much energy trying to make people understand us, but not everyone wants to understand. Some people just want drama. They want to misunderstand you because it gives them something to talk about. They are not interested in your truth. They are interested in your mistakes. And no matter how well you explain, no matter how much you prove yourself, they will always find something wrong. So stop wasting your time. Instead of explaining yourself, show your truth through your actions. Let your life speak louder than your words. Live with integrity, not for approval. Here's the thing. People who really care about you won't need an explanation. They will trust your intentions. They will know your heart. And the people who don't care, no explanation will ever be enough for them. Think about that. How many times have you gone out of your way to explain yourself to people who didn't even respect you? How many times have you given your piece just to fix someone else's opinion? You deserve better than that. You don't need to tell everyone why you made a certain choice. You don't need to explain your dreams, your goals, your past, or your decisions. They are yours. They belong to you. And the right people will accept you without needing a full explanation. Imagine how free you would feel if you stopped defending yourself all the time. Imagine the energy you could save. Imagine the peace you could have. When you stop explaining yourself, you start trusting yourself. And that is powerful. You start walking with confidence. You start living with courage. You stop second-guessing your every move. You stop apologizing for being who you are. You learn that you are not on this earth to be understood by everyone. You are here to live a meaningful life. Yes, sometimes people will misunderstand you, but that's okay. You will survive that. What you won't survive is constantly shrinking yourself to make others comfortable. What you won't survive is always trying to prove yourself to people who don't even matter in the long run. Set yourself free. You don't need to send long messages explaining your side. You don't need to call people just to make things clear. You don't need to clear every rumor or answer every question. Let silence speak for you. Let your calmness show your strength. Let your growth confuse them. Let your peace bother them. Because that's what happens when you stop explaining yourself. People start noticing a new power in you. That power is self-respect. You choose peace over approval. You choose growth over gossip. You choose silence over drama. You no longer play the game of pleasing everyone. You step out of that race. You stop chasing validation and start building value. You realize that your life is not a courtroom. You are not on trial. You don't need to defend yourself every time someone has an opinion. You don't need to justify your every move. This is your life, your rules, your path. Walk it with confidence. The moment you decide to stop explaining yourself, you take back your power. You stop being a victim of other people's opinions. You stop living on the edge, always afraid of being misunderstood. And you start living for real. You show up without fear. You speak without guilt. You act without the need for approval. You live with purpose, not pressure. You stop explaining why you don't hang out anymore, why you don't respond to every message, why you changed your lifestyle, why you cut certain people off, why you chose to protect your mental health, why you decided to follow your passion. You stop giving reports because you owe no one your story. You owe yourself peace. You owe yourself honesty. You owe yourself the right to live without needing to justify every step. And the truth is, people will always talk. Whether you explain or not, they will talk. So let them. Let them create their own stories. Let them believe their own version. You know the truth. You are at peace with it. That is enough. You don't need to correct them. You don't need to prove anything. You don't need to get loud. Your calmness is the answer. And over time, the real ones will stay. The fake ones will fall off. Time will reveal everything. Let your silence be your proof. You are not here to explain your worth. You are here to live it. Have you ever walked away from a conversation and thought, why did I say all that? You felt the need to explain yourself again and again, hoping they'd finally understand you. But instead of peace, all you felt was exhaustion. If that sounds familiar, you're not alone. Let's take this deeper. We grow up learning that being understood is important. We think people need to agree with us or approve of us for us to feel okay. But here's the truth. You don't need anyone's permission to live your life. You are not for everyone. Some people just won't get you. No matter how many words you use, no matter how much effort you put in, they'll twist your words, judge your choices, or label you. And you'll feel like explaining more and more, hoping they'll finally see the real you. But stop right there. You are not here to convince anyone to like you. You are not here to win approval. You are here to live a life that feels right to you. When you truly understand this, you stop wasting your breath on people who are not even listening. Learn the power of silence. Silence is not weakness. Sometimes silence is strength. When you stop explaining yourself, people notice. They may question, mock, or even push harder. But deep inside, your silence will be your greatest shield. It tells the world, I don't owe you anything. I am sure of myself. You don't have to respond to every opinion. You don't have to correct every misunderstanding. You don't have to defend your every move. Not everything needs a justification. Want to quit your job and travel? You don't need to explain. Want to stay in instead of going to a party? You don't need to explain. Want to cut off a toxic relationship? You don't need to explain. Your decisions are your own. If they feel right in your heart, that's enough. When people ask too many questions, some people ask because they care, but others ask to control, judge, or gossip. When someone constantly wants to know why you did something, ask yourself, do they truly want to understand me, or do they just want something to talk about? Not every question deserves an answer. It's okay to say, I don't feel like explaining. That's personal. I just needed to. That's enough. Your peace is more important than their curiosity. You don't owe anyone your past. Many of us keep explaining ourselves because we feel guilty about our past. Maybe you made mistakes. Maybe you changed your mind. Maybe you left something behind. So what? You're allowed to grow. You're allowed to change. You're allowed to leave old versions of yourself behind. You don't have to explain your healing. You don't have to explain why you're no longer the same. That's growth. Live in your truth. Your truth is yours. It doesn't need to be accepted by anyone else to be real. When you stop explaining yourself, you stop shrinking. You stop making yourself small just to fit into other people's boxes. And guess what happens? You start attracting people who see you. People who don't need long explanations. People who just get you. And that feels peaceful. That feels like home. Energy is priceless. Don't waste it. Explaining yourself takes energy. It drains your mind. It weakens your focus. It steals your peace. Imagine using that same energy to grow, create, or rest. Imagine pouring that energy into things that actually matter. You'll feel lighter, clearer, stronger. Some will never understand you. Let that be okay. You could speak from your heart and still be misunderstood. You could be kind and still be judged. You could be honest and still be doubted. And that's okay. You don't exist to be understood by everyone. You exist to be true to yourself. Let them misunderstand. Let them guess. Let them talk. You've got better things to do. Your life is not a debate. You are not on trial. You don't have to prove your worth. You don't need to explain every decision. This is your journey, not theirs. The moment you realize this, a huge weight lifts. You stop performing. You stop overthinking. You start breathing freely. Let your actions speak. One of the best things you can do, stop talking and let your life speak for itself. Let your peace show. Let your growth show. Let your joy speak louder than your words. People notice energy more than they notice explanations. So instead of saying, I'm okay, be okay. Instead of saying, I've changed, live that change. Instead of saying, I don't care what they think, actually stop caring. Let them see your strength in your silence. The right people will never need you to explain. People who truly care about you, they don't ask you to prove yourself. They don't pressure you to explain your every move. They give you space. They trust your choices. They support your growth. Surround yourself with those people and walk away from those who make you feel like you're always defending your soul. A reminder for every day. If you ever feel that urge to over-explain, remember this. You are allowed to walk away without a speech. You are allowed to say no without guilt. You are allowed to protect your peace. You are allowed to grow quietly. You are allowed to be misunderstood. Not everyone deserves your story. Not everyone earns your truth. Speak when it adds value. Be silent when it protects your peace. Conclusion. You are free. You are not here to impress. You are not here to convince. You are here to live fully, freely, and truthfully. So from today, give yourself permission to stop explaining, to stop defending, to stop justifying. Let your heart guide you. Let your peace lead the way. And if someone asks why, smile and say, because I chose to. And that's all they need to know.